I guess I still ain't done thinking about the rich young ruler. There's a lot in there in that story. It's just so rich, and rewards are tremendous if we would put into practice what we see our master trying to accomplish in this situation with the rich young ruler coming to him and still considering him once again. And at any rate, you know, you would think that Jesus could have reeled this one in. I mean, this was the perfect situation for an evangelist, you would think, to reel one in, to see them come to accept the master. But I mean, he showed the qualities of someone that you would think would be easy to nab. I mean, he come running, which shows that he was eager to get something from Jesus. It shows that he recognized some urgency there for what he really needed and wanted. We see that he knelt down in front of him, and that and in doing that, it showed that he felt deep inside a desire for eternal life. We see that's what he wanted. And we know when we keep reading there in Mark 10, and you find it in two other of the Gospels, Matthew and Mark, and and Luke. But we see that he wanted what he did not have. We see that we can see that he recognized he did not have eternal life. And how do we know that? Well, he wanted it, and he didn't have it. He didn't have confidence in the life of God being inside of him. He didn't have confidence that he had life with God. We see that he didn't have peace. He didn't have grace and hope abiding inside of him. These are all qualities and fruits that you have him inside of you. You have that eternal life abiding in you. You know, what if Jesus had said, you know what, all you got to do is just pray this prayer and you're golden? Well, I believe that, of course, he knows better than us, but just my thinking on that, if he had just said, here, pray this prayer, we would have had another false conversion on our hands, which I believe to be the case with a lot of people. They do not come away with confidence. As a matter of fact, it won't be a long period of time until they begin to exhibit the same behaviors that they had before. And I'm not talking about just the sins that they commit and habitual sin, but I'm talking about, once again, they have no hope. They come away with no peace. They know they don't have the life of God, and this is not what we need. We need true conversions. We need people that are confident in their expectation of eternal life. And I believe we can get that. Jesus recognized in this young man that he needed to understand a few things. The holiness of God, for one. How holy and righteous our God is. And he needed to understand his own proud, self-righteous heart. He thought he was perfect. He even called Jesus good teacher. He threw that term out as, you're a good teacher. Well, there's nothing to indicate that he knew that this was the Messiah. So we can only assume that he used the term good teacher out of sheer just loosely using the term good. And we know that because of Jesus' response. There's no one good but God. He knew what was in that boy's heart, and he knew what was in his mind, and he knew that he didn't have an understanding of good and who is good. We understand that God himself is good in everything he does. His character exhibits goodness in everything he does. Everything he does is good. And this young man didn't have any idea. So we can assume that this young man thought he himself was good. That he didn't necessarily need any instructions on how to be good. He just wanted that one more thing that I need in order to inherit eternal life. I know I don't have it. I figure you know because I've heard about you and the miracles and signs and wonders, kind of like Nicodemus. We know that you are a teacher come from God. For no one can do these things unless he come from God. But he possibly did not have the understanding that this is God standing in front of me. More later, but take all this with a grain of salt, and remember to give to the widows, the orphans, and the poor. They're the ones who need it.